In the past 2 decades, suicide rates in Minnesota have trended upward.
According to data from the Minnesota Department of Health, an estimated 813 Minnesotans died by suicide last year.
A big jump from just 10 years ago in 2014, when the state recorded 686 suicides. In 2004, it was 524. But MDH says suicide rates in rural counties continue to be higher than in urban areas.
Now, St. Louis County took a step forward in suicide prevention with a new coalition supporting those living out on the range.
Northern News Now's Jeffrey McClure explains.
The St. Louis County Suicide Prevention Coalition started here at the Mountain Iron Community Center as residents and health leaders came together hoping to find community prevention strategies.
We chose the Iron Range specifically because the community was asking for action to be taken and came to us as St. Louis County to kind of drive the direction.
Kira Chaldaw with the St. Louis County Health Department is a member of the new coalition formed to drive down suicide rates. This summer, communities had conversations about the topic, highlighting a need for support. The county is responding by bringing in resources.
One of the biggest things is I've seen a lot of organizations coming together to collaborate around this great need. And that's wonderful to see because then we have the resources to fill the gaps.
Collaboration was the focus Wednesday as the county invited the public to discuss solutions as a first step. For Aubrey Hoover with the Northeast Service Cooperative, she says it's amazing to see everyone come together to protect each other.
When we look at the Northeast region, we have the highest suicide rates out of any region in Minnesota. And we need to start addressing that, and we need to start addressing it differently.
According to the county, each death by suicide can affect about 115 people, which is why they want to create a larger network of support, in turn creating a larger reach.
Smaller towns and communities, they tend to be really strong. So there are lots of strengths and opportunities existing already in these communities that we want to bolster.
As always, if you know someone who is struggling or in crisis, help can be found by calling the Suicide and Crisis Lifeline you see below. In Mountain Iron, Jeffrey McClure, Northern News Now.
Leaders of the event say they will take what they learned from the meeting and build a framework of goals as a coalition. We also have a link on our website where you can send suggestions into the county anonymously.